guys, this is Marvlun and welcome to this week's edition of A Journal of Love. All month long on a video blog, we are celebrating women. In particular, we're pulling out 5 women in the Bible that anybody and everybody can be inspired by. Today, we're talking about Hannah. As you all know, we are just a few days from Mother's Day 2017. And my prayer is that this Mother's Day will be the best. To my own mother, I would like to say I love you, I appreciate you. All your sacrifice, all your hard work has not gone unnoticed. To all those women who I hold near and dear to my heart, happy Mother's Day. My prayer is for you to have an amazing day. Hannah is an amazing woman to study. She was a woman who was married to a man who had another wife, and that other wife was very fertile, very fruitful. She had given birth to children already, whereas Hannah was barren at the time. Interesting to note, Hannah was the 4th woman of the Bible to actually be barren. You had Sarah, who was barren for a while, Rachel, and Rebecca. And what was so interesting about Hannah's faith seemed to me to be unwavering. We can all be inspired by Hannah because she was facing people in the world that were taunting her and about her inability to have a child. And Hannah's response was, she didn't go off, but her response was she went to her knees and she poured out every bit of herself before the Lord. So much so that Eli, the priest, had thought she was drunk. You see, when Sarah found out that she was going to be giving birth, she laughed. Rebecca and Rachel, they had their own responses as well. But Hannah would not let go of her faith and would not let go of her belief that God was going to bring fruitfulness to her womb. In Hannah, I saw that as she went before God, she poured out all of who she was. And in that position, she was honest with herself and she was honest with her God. God is able to handle our honesty. He's able to handle all that we are. But then, through pouring out her heart, through being totally transparent and honest before God, then it brought her to a position of total and complete surrender. I think about in my own life, and when I have been believing God for things and it seemed to take forever. And sometimes we take our focus off of God and off of His character and off of who He is, and we look at our situations and our circumstances and we get discouraged. I know I have. And we get frustrated. I know I have. But here was Hannah in the face of people ridiculing her and mocking her and bringing her character into question. Hannah responded appropriately each time. And yet I am inspired by her because what she did was she got on her face before God. And she poured out all of her emotions and all of who she was before Him. God heard her and God answered her prayer. And she gave that was her answer back into God, and He multiplied her with many more children. What type of faith it must have taken for this woman to not lose hope, but to continue on in a journey, unwavering in her faith, believing that God will bring the promises to pass. And yes, she did give birth to a child. And yes, she gave that child back to the Lord. And yes, God multiplied her womb several times over, and she had more fruit that came from her womb. I'm inspired by Hannah to believe beyond what I see. I'm inspired by Hannah not to give up when things are seemingly not going my way. I'm inspired by Hannah to pour out my heart before the Lord because He can handle it. He can handle all of my frustration. He can handle all of my disappointment. He can handle all of who I am. He made me after all. See, I want to take this time to encourage you. As women, we face obstacles every day. We have many beautiful days, but we have some days where we are challenged beyond what we think that we can handle. But I want to encourage you that God, our God, is a God that is worthy of all that we have. And we could pour out to Him and He won't judge us. He will love us all the more. The Bible says to cast all your cares into the Lord because He cares for us. Are you casting your cares? Are you out there and you're believing to get married? Are you out there and your womb is barren and you're believing for children? Are you out there and you've been believing for a promotion for years and are constantly passed over? And you're in a position where you want to give up. I want to let you know that God did not bring you this far to leave you. I want to encourage you that your best days are not behind you, my friend. Your best days are ahead of you. Keep moving forward in Him. Like Hannah, have unwavering faith and believe that the promises that God has placed in your heart, they will come to pass. If you believe, the Bible says you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. And Hannah was bold enough to believe that. She got on her face before God and she poured out in vulnerability, in humility, because it takes humility to pray and say, God, I need you. Pride says, I can do it all on my own. Humility says, I can do nothing without you, Lord. And Hannah, in a position of grief, in a position of anguish, she poured her heart out before the Lord. And she did not let the treatment by other people to stop her from going after Him. Oh God, that we all may learn from this example. Guys, I love you. I appreciate you. And I wish this Mother's Day to be above and beyond for you all.